No.
Okay, let me look for it. Yes. It was explain in brief any two methods of vegetative propagation in higher plants, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so what do you find, like what is the difficulty in this question? Like you did not understand the question or you do not know the methods? What was it?
I did not know the methods. I was confused.
Okay, so let's talk about it here. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
Okay. So vegetative, you know what is vegetative propagation in plants? It is when plants, instead of using their sexual reproductive parts like flowers, which contains anthers and stigma, instead of using this, they use the vegetative parts. Okay, and what are the vegetative parts of a plant? You know?
Leaves, stem.
Yes. So vegetative parts of plants include three things: stem, roots, and leaves. Okay. Branches are a part of stem. So I'm putting everything: shoot in stem, the root is roots, and the leaves. So these three parts, if plant can propagate, can reproduce through these three parts, then that propagation is called vegetative propagation. Okay. So in vegetative propagation, there are methods that you may have studied. For example, you know, cutting. You cut the stem of a plant and put it in the soil, and it just grows like rose. You've seen gardeners growing rose?
No.
Okay. So rose plant can be propagated without any seed or without any, so they have flowers, but even if you do not use the rose seeds, and they do not produce, all the species do not produce viable seeds. So cutting is one example, one way to propagate the vegetative, uh, the plant vegetatively. In cutting, you cut any stem and put it in the soil. You treat that the cutting part, which is put in the soil, with water which contains plant growth hormones, and the stem starts producing adventitious roots. So that's called reproducing through vegetative parts. So one is cutting, other is, have you heard of grafting? Yeah.
Yes.
So in grafting, we do the same thing we do in cutting, but instead of putting it in soil, so we cut a part of one plant and put it on another plant instead of putting it in the soil. So basically, we take a shoot system, we cut a branch or a stem from one plant and graft it over the root system of another plant. So that's called grafting. Cutting, grafting. There are other examples like layering. In layering, what we are doing is we are taking a branch, putting it down into the soil and covering it with the soil. So we do not cut that branch, we just pull that branch. If it is a plant which has branching closer to the ground, then it is easier and it is possible to pull that branch and bury it in the soil half. And that part which is buried in the soil starts producing adventitious roots. So in cutting and layering, there are adventitious roots produced. In grafting, one part of one plant is put on another part of another plant and they start behaving like one plant. So through these ways, we do not need a sexual reproduction to happen, and we can propagate the plant asexually through vegetative propagation. Is it clear? Is it clear, Nida?
Yes.
Yes. There's a type of asexual reproduction in plants, in higher plants. Okay. Clear? Would you like to note this down? And you can find this cutting, grafting, layering in your NCRT. It's towards the end of the first chapter, but it was related to plants, so I asked in the question. Is it clear? Note it down. Okay, shall we move forward for today?
Yes. Oh,
Any other question?
no, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay, so let's start with today's class. In the last class, basically what we did was we finished with sexual reproduction till seeds, and I gave you the homework to go and look for false fruit and true fruit. Did you go back and looked at false fruit and true fruit? Nida? So what is a fruit basically? How will you define a fruit? A true fruit is fruit, right? What is not a fruit but looks like a fruit in biology is called false fruit. So what is a fruit basically? A fruit is developed from ovary. It's a ripened ovary. Okay. So technically it's a ripened ovary. If a ovary ripens after the fertilization event that we studied in the last class, then that ripening of ovary leads to fruit. That's why we called ovary as the future fruit, remember? So write down for fruit, a ripened ovary post fertilization becomes a fruit, and the ovule which is inside it becomes the seed. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
But what is a false fruit? Why do we call it a fruit and yet still call it false fruit? So false fruit is not ripened from the ovary. It is the fruit which is produced from any other tissue apart from ovary. So what are the other tissues apart from ovary that can ripen and form a fruit? They are thalamus. Remember we did thalamus also. If I go back all the way to the top, I think, yes. You see here? Can you see the screen, Nida?
Yes.
Ovary, the tissue around the ovary is called thalamus, right?
Yes.
So thalamus gives rise to false fruits. So in false fruits, this thalamus actually ripens instead of ovary. Or the structures which are down the thalamus are called pedicel. The pedicel can also ripen, or the receptacle can get ripened. In any of the case, if anything gets ripened apart from the ovary, it's called a false fruit. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, so write down in a false fruit, a fruit which is formed from other parts of the flower, other parts of the flower or plant apart other parts of the flower apart from ovary, okay, is known as false fruit. Now can you give me some examples of true fruit which are actual real fruits, because they are asked. So mango is a true fruit. Okay, mango is one true fruit. And apart from mango, what? Grapes and maize or corn, which you say is a true fruit. Guava is a true fruit. Papaya is a true fruit. Okay. What are false fruits? Any example? You know, because majorly you have to focus on what are false fruits.
Strawberry.
Yes, that's one false fruit. But in false fruit, let's not just write the names of the false fruit. Let's also understand from which structure they are formed. If they are not forming from the ovary, then from what they are forming. So write down false fruits from thalamus. Which of the false fruits are developed from thalamus? So it's the apple. Okay, apple is developed from the thalamus. Here, so it's strawberry and cucumber. Cucumber also grows from the thalamus. It's a false fruit. So cucumber is a fruit. It's not a vegetable. Actually, all the vegetables are basically fruits. Not all, but vegetables are also fruits. We call them vegetables. For a plant, they are fruits. So these are the ones which come from thalamus. Apart from thalamus, what other structures can give rise? Write down peduncle. This is also asked. From peduncle, you have cashew. You know cashew nuts?
Yes.
They are developed from peduncle. And then some fruits develop from the whole inflorescence. You know what is the inflorescence? Many plants do not produce single flowers. They produce flowers in a bunch called inflorescence, like mango. Have you seen mango tree flowering?
No.
Yes. So those flowers are like bunch, right? They are present in a bunch together. They're not like single very bright flowers, right? So those are called inflorescence. And many inflorescence and many fruits develop from the entire inflorescence, like jackfruit. Jackfruit is also a false fruit. And pineapple. You know both jackfruit and pineapple?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So that's about fruits. And just note this thing down. Let me know when it's done. So in today's class, after the end of this chapter, let's also spend some time and solving some previous year's NEET questions, okay, from this chapter. Shall we do that, Nita?
Yes.
Ultimately, you have to give entrances. So let's figure out what kind of questions are asked. So is this written? Because I
Yes.
have to stop the screen share. Okay. Now I will be projecting some. Can you see the screen that I'm sharing?
Yes.
Yes. So these are some questions that have. Nora is also joining. Let Nora join in. Good evening, Nora. Am I audible and visible to you? Nora and Asha, am I audible and visible to you? Good evening, Asha.
Good evening, sir.
Are you late? So late. Are you having some other class or something?
Actually, I just came back from the hospital. I went for nebulizing.
Okay. Nora, am I audible and visible to you? I think you are not connected to audio. You need to connect to audio, okay? Nora.
So, are we going to discuss the question paper?
We are discussing first questions. Like currently we are discussing the questions from chapter 2, which is the plant reproductive, sexual reproduction in plants, which have been in the previous year's entrance exams. Okay. So let's see how much we have understood the concepts to answer these questions. Okay, so the first question, you can see the first question, Nida. Would you like to read this question for me? Which is asked in NEET 2017 from this topic.
Functional megaspore in an angiosperm develops into an
Yes, what do you think it develops into? What do you think is the right answer?
embryo sac.
Embryo sac, right?
Yes.
Everyone understands? A functional megaspore ultimately has to become an embryo sac. And what is the speciality of the embryo sac in angiosperms? They are 7-celled and 8-nucleated structures. Remember, we did, I think in the last class only we did this.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Nora, you have still not joined to the audio. Is it possible for you to join to the audio? Or you can also write in the chat if there is some issue with your audio. Okay, Aisha, will you please read the 9th question here? Question number 9. Aisha.
Yes, sir.
Question number 9.
Is it for me?
Yes, it's for you. Please.
What's the question? The coconut water from tender coconut represents free nuclear primary, free nuclear endosperm, endocup, fleshy mesocap. Free nuclear endosperm.
Yes, do you agree, Nida? It's B, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is free nuclear endosperm. Also keep writing these questions because probably you just discuss with me and forget, because these are the actual questions that have come. Okay, question number 10. Aisha, you read it again.
I should only say all the answers. Okay, fine, I'll try. Which one of the following statements is not true? Pollen grains of many species cause of service. So 1 minute.
Yeah. What happened? I think she's back to scolding someone again. Were you back to scolding?
चुप रहने के लिए कहा पागल.
I knew it. Aisha does not tolerate any disturbance when she's studying, right?
So actually, my brother, he was continuously quarreling with his friend,
Yes.
saying online. That's why.
Siblings are for that reason only. You will remember this only when you grow up.
Of course, I'm not going to, sir. You know, we literally had a fight, and because of him, I cried.
Okay, it's just forgive. Okay, let's come to question 10.
Yeah. Which one of the following statement is not true? Pollen grains of many species cause severe allergy. Stored pollen in liquid nitrogen can be used. B.
Read all first.
Okay. It helps in dehiscence of anther. Egg sign of polygrin is made up of sporofolin.
What is the question asking?
Which one of the following statement is not true?
Yes, you have to tell
Not true.
Not true. You were telling me which is true. So this is a mistake that all of you are going to do if you are not going to read the question properly. Most of the times they do not ask you which is true, because that's the most common thing to ask. You read the options, you think this is the right answer, because we are trained in our mind to give right answers. This is what they use the same vulnerability and make the exam tricky. Exams are not very difficult, they are tricky, because we are in a habit of giving right answers always. No one asks us, tell me the wrong answer, so we are never prepared, we are never trained for that. So but this question is asking you which is not true. So what do you think now, Aisha, which is not true?
So this question is
Is not true. Nida, have you read the question? Nida, are you there? Did you read the question? Nora has connected to microphone, I think. Nora, am I audible to you?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Did you read question number 10? Can you tell me which one you think is not correct? Then I'll go to Aisha.
Option number C.
Number C, according to Nora. Aisha, what's your answer?
Is not true. So let me read this. Falling grains of many species cause severe allergies. Okay.
One more thing that you have to learn is to be fast in entrances. You know, entrances do not give you so much time. But I'm training you, so I'll give you time in the beginning.
True. I guess C.
C. So you think C is not true. What is the problem with C?
Tatum cells in dehiscence of anther.
Is it
That's
incorrect?
yeah.
What does tapetum do then?
Tatum.
Tapetum is a tissue. Yeah, if you do not know,
How to say?
tapetum provides nourishment to the developing pollen grains. Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
C is the right answer. Like C is the wrong one. So C is the correct option that you will choose to tell that it is not a true option. So A is true. Pollen grains can cause severe allergies. Pollen allergy we call it. Stored pollens in liquid nitrogen. Anything that can be stored in liquid nitrogen like cells, pollen grains can be used again. So they are metabolically inactive in liquid nitrogen. And then tapetum is the nutritional tissue, so it does not help in dehiscence of the anther. Whereas exine of the pollen grains are made of sporopollenate, correct? So write down this, correct this option, Nora. Tapetum helps in providing nutrition to the developing pollen grains. Okay. Okay.
Then
Question number 3. I want Nora, you to read question number 3 and give me the answer. Nora, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Question 3. And try to be fast now. We will over time. I'll train you to be faster and faster with choosing options. And that also correct. Quick. Tell me, Nora. It will be good if you can read also for us. Nora?
if she don't know, can I answer? I know this answer. Today only I answered my teacher.
Okay, so I'll come to you. Let's first. Nora, are you going to read? You are mute if you're speaking. Yes, please.
Should I read the question?
Yes, please.
Flowers which have single ovule in the ovary are packed into inflorescence are usually pollinated by bee.
Like option A, which is B, or option B, which is wind? Which B?
A.
Option A. Okay.
Can I say?
Okay, and you, Aisha?
Wind. B.
B, wind.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's wind, Aisha?
The thing is, oh, like, like, how will I explain you? I don't know that. The thing is,
Okay.
like for this, like, basically the flowers which are pollinated by the wind. How to say? Like, they are.
Which word of the question helped you to choose wind? Why not pollination through bee, bat, or water? Why wind? Which word helped you to choose wind? Just tell me that.
Stigma.
There is no word stigma in the question.
No, actually, the thing is, like, single ovule and ovary are packed into the inflorescence. The word is inflorescence.
Yes, right. So Nora, the answer is B, wind. Okay, I'll
I
tell
said
you.
the correct answer.
Yes, the answer is B, wind. I'll tell you why. Okay. So because Aisha is unable to give explanation, so I'll give you. It's also important to understand why the answer is that, because you are not able, you cannot memorize all the questions, no? So understand the logic. See, flowers which have single ovule in the ovary and are packed into inflorescence. If this word was not there, and are packed into inflorescence, what is inflorescence? Bunch of flowers, right? Like flowers which come in bunches, like for example, flowers of the mango, you know, that's called the inflorescence of the mango. So those flowers are called inflorescence. And if the ovaries are packed into inflorescence, like very closely packed in inflorescence, usually wind is sufficient to carry pollen grains. Why? Because flowers are very close to each other. So even wind can take pollens from one flower to another. Do you understand, Nora and Aisha? Especially Nora. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
B, but it's option. The answer is wind. Right answer is B, wind. So please write down this question. Has been asked, and there's a logic. Now, question 4. Aisha, question 4.
A dicotyledonous flowering plant prevents both autogamy and heterogamy, heteronomy and xenogamy, Cryptorchidism and xenogamy, autogamy and xenogamy. I guess option A, autogamy and heterogamy. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, and Nora, you? Nora, what do you think is the answer of question 4?
Um,
Sorry?
Autogamy and option number A.
Option number A, right? So that's the correct option. So you both understand why it's option number A? Because if it's a dioecious flowering plant, what does the word dioecious means? Dioecious flowering plant means the plant has two bodies, two separate bodies, right? And each body has one sex, which means on one plant there can either be male flowers or female flowers, right? So if on one plant all the flowers are male, or on one plant all the plants are female, then the only thing that can happen is xenogamy. So what the plant will prevent from happening? Autogamy and geitonogamy. For autogamy and geitonogamy, you need both the sexes present on the same plant. Yes, Aisha?
Yes, sir. I was going to say both, but you said one.
Yes, so autogamy and geitonogamy both are prevented in a dioecious flowering plant. Okay. Now look at this question here, question number 11. And Nora, would you like to read this, please? Question 11.
Question number
11, where my cursor is.
seed formation without fertilization in flowering plants involves the process of somatic hybridization, apomixis, budding, sporulation.
So what do you think is the answer? This let me just tell you the basic concept behind it. See, budding and sporulation, you know, they are asexual modes, right? But the question is asking that seed formation without fertilization.
Sir, I know the answer.
Yes, Aisha, what is the answer?
Answer is B, apomixis.
Yes, the answer is apomixis. Apomixis is a process where
seeds are generated without fertilization.
Yes, that is still a asexual reproduction, but it mimics sexual reproduction. So write down apomixis, just write down in your notebooks in front of this question and answer. Please write down this question and options first and let me know when you are done. Then I will tell you some important stuffs about apomixis also. Now write down the answer of this question is B, apomixis, and write the explanation. Apomixis is a mode of asexually producing seed. Is a mode of asexually producing seeds. So basically it is a asexual reproduction, right? But it mimics sexual reproduction because it produces seeds. Seeds are produced in sexual reproductions, true seeds. So write down, apomixis mimics sexual reproduction. Apomixis mimics sexual reproduction. Okay. Now, both of you can write in the chat to me, right? All you both can see chat. So change the to everyone to me, okay, to my name. Is it clear? Aisha and Nora?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Nora, are you there? So I give both of you question number 12. Nora, just confirm if you're there. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Yes. So read question number 12 and just type the right option in the chat to me. Quick. Let's see how quickly can you solve this question number 12. Quick.
Say I give the answer.
That's the point. You don't have to say. You just have to type.
Sorry.
Okay. So the right answer, I'll give the right answer. I'll not tell who gave what answer, but I'll just tell the right answer and I will give the explanation. Okay, Aisha and Nora?
Yes, sir.
So the right answer is C, because the question is asking which is not correct again. Okay, you are getting tricked again. So which is not correct? Now pollen germination and pollen tube growth are regulated by chemical components of pollen interacting with pistil. Yes, that is correct. Some reptiles have also been reported as pollinators in some plant species. Yes, correct. I told you snakes are also pollinators, right?
Yes, sir.
They're reptiles. See, pollen grains of many species can germinate on the stigma of a flower. No, that is not correct. That is why we have pollen pistil interaction. So that many species do not fertilize one stigma, right? So C is incorrect. Then the moment you get your incorrect answer, you should just tick it. You should also read the other one. Insects that consume pollen or nectar without bringing about pollination are called robbers. Yes, they are called pollen or nectar robbers because they are not providing any benefit to the flower. They're just robbing from the flower. So C is the right answer. Okay. Understood? Everyone, just say yes or no.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So there are some more questions that I want to discuss. I'm discussing with you the interesting or difficult ones, slightly confusing ones. So let's come to again. 26 is easy for you. Gitonogamy. What is gitonogamy? Asked in 2014. What is gitonogamy? Quickly, just tell me what is gitonogamy, Nora, in one line. Yes. Gitonogamy.
Option number A.
Okay, you are giving me answers in terms of option number A. Yes.
So you asked the definition.
Yeah, I just ask what is deuteronogamy. So it is between the
Yeah,
flowers.
it's option A. Yeah.
Yeah, between the flowers, but within the same plant. So option A is correct. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I will do one thing. Again, you have to write in the chat the right option. Okay. Question number 41. Quickly. Question 41. Write in chat the correct answer. Nora and Aisha. Question 41. Both of you are taking time. Okay. So both the answers have come. Now let me tell you the right answer. The right answer is A. Okay. Why it is A? Because it says which is correct. Statement is correct. Now it's not saying not correct. It's asking the correct one. Cleistogamous flowers are always autogamous. Yes, because cleistogamous flowers are closed flowers. All they can do is autogamy. So that is a correct option. Rest all the three are incorrect. Okay. Is it clear? Nora and Aisha? Same thing.
Yes, sir.
Please do 42 also. 42 quickly. Same. Write the answer in the chat. 42. I will only explain after I have received both the answers. Okay. Question number 42. Okay, now the correct answer is option C. Okay, option C. Remember I told you sporopollenin is very hard a substance. It is inert biopolymer. Remember, Nora and Aisha? It is an inert biopolymer. Okay, and if it is inert, it does not react with anything. So A is sporopollen can be degraded by enzymes. No, it's incorrect. The question is asking correct option. B is also incorrect. It is not made up of inorganic material. It is a biopolymer. It is organic. C is correct. It can withstand high temperature and also strong acids and bases. D is also incorrect. So C is the correct option. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go with one more question, which I have for you. Question number 40, 40. Quickly, write the answer in the chat again. Question number 40.
So you got my answer?
No.
Actually, I'm not able to type it. One.
Okay, now you can speak your answer now, Aisha, because I got Nora's answer. Okay, I got your also. So both of you have written option D, which is the correct option. Okay. So now I think you both understand what kind of questions do come. We will do more such questions. Okay.
But the thing is, this the definition and all stuff questions are good, but the statement question is, I don't like it.
Statement question, you don't like it, but those
No.
are questions which are the most tricky and important one, because they can ask you what is not correct, what is correct, what is different, things like that. Okay. Would you like to do a couple of more questions, both of you? Yes or no?
So by the way, can I ask you one thing?
Yes, please.
You checked yesterday's paper.
Yes, I did.
So actually, the thing is about the glycerin was at the end, I want to know, like,
Your voice is
I wasn't.
Aisha.
The thing I'm saying is so that I did a silly mistake. Actually, I know I'm doing lots of mistakes, but the thing in which I did the mistake is that the last one, that clustering everyone, I was knowing the answer, but I wasn't knowing it.
I could see that. I could see that. I'll be sending you the scores and check papers soon. Okay. Welcome back, Nida. Is it you? Am I audible to you, Nida? Is it Nida? Like the name is coming Namira. Can you hear me? Nida, can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. I think she has problem with microphone. Okay. Aisha and Nora, would you like to go with a couple of more? I have others are easier, so I'll go with the trickiest one. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Same rule, you have to write in the chat the right answer for question number 56. Question number 56. Quickly write the answer in the chat. Nida, if you are able to hear me, tell me what will be the right answer option for question number 56. I received one answer. That also pretty fast. That also correct. Aisha,
So I gave the answer.
I did not get your answer. Okay, you can tell me what is your option?
It's D.
D, right? Yes,
Yeah.
correct. It's D, both. Okay, good. I'll go with one last question. I hope you are noting down the questions as well. Are you? No.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Question number 63. Can you see question number 63, everyone? Here. Quickly, question number 63, where my cursor is.
So did you got my answer? Why? Because in chat box I'm not able to see it.
No, Aisha, I'm not getting your.
Actually, I'm typing it, but it's not coming. Now also I noticed that it's not coming. Can I see the answer?
Let Nora answer, then you tell me the answer, okay? Otherwise, it can influence Nora's answer. And also, Nida, like Namira, it's coming. Are you there? Can you hear me, Nida? Don't think so. Okay, Nora, what's your answer? Right, type in the chat box. Aisha, I received so many answers of yours.
Actually, I was typing it continuously and now it came.
Okay, perfect. Nora, so okay, so the right answer is D. Okay. The question is asking which one of the following pairs has haploid number of chromosomes. So which are haploid cells? See, egg cell is always haploid, right? Nora, do you understand? So if in option A and option C there is no egg cell, then clearly it's not going to be the answer, right? Egg cell, egg nucleus or egg cell is going to be one of, so either it's B or D. Then antipodals, remember I told you antipodals, 7-celled 8 nucleated structures. So
Yes, sir.
antipodals are haploid, egg cell is haploid, synergids are diploid. Write it down, write down. Synergid cells are diploid, egg cell is haploid, antipodals are also haploid, and central cell, what is central cell, haploid or diploid? It's multinucleated. It has 2 haploid nucleus. Remember polar nuclei?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's multinucleated. It has 2 haploid nucleus. Okay. Is it clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you please repeat?
Sorry, what, Nora?
Can you please repeat?
Yes, I can repeat. I will repeat. Egg cell is haploid. Antipodals are haploid. And polar nuclei are haploid. Egg cell, antipodal, polar nuclei, both are haploid. All 3 are haploid. It's just that there are 2 polar nuclei in one cell. It still does not make the cell diploid, but it makes it multinucleated with 2 haploid nucleus. And synergids are diploid. Okay. Is it clear? I'm talking about the embryo sac. Right, Nora? I hope you are following.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So now let's come back and let me start with today's class. So I told both Nora, Aisha and Nida, all 3 of you, to read about fruits, right? Did you go back and read about fruits?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is here. I was, before you joined in, both of you, I was just telling Nida about the fruit. What is a true fruit? A ripened ovary is a true fruit. And these are the examples. And a fruit which is produced from any other part of the flower apart from ovary is called a false fruit. And these are the examples, like false fruits which come from thalamus are apple, pear, strawberry, cucumber. From peduncle are cashew nuts, and from inflorescence are jackfruit and pineapple. Please note this thing down. This can also be asked. It has been asked in previous years, the examples. Write this down and then let me know. Then I'll start with the new chapter today.
Done, sir.
Done?
Done, sir.
Okay. So just give me one moment before I start the next topic. So just go through all your notes of plant reproduction, sexual reproduction, and let me know if you have any doubt. Anyone has any doubt? Because I'm going to start with human reproduction now, chapter 3. And humans reproduce sexually or asexually?
Sexually.
Yes, correct. They reproduce sexually. So, any doubts in plant reproduction? Please go through your notes and let me know. Just give me one moment. I'll set the. Okay. Aisha, tell me what you understand by sexual reproduction. What are the
In sexual reproduction, the most important thing is gametogenesis, which does not happen in asexual reproduction. Gametogenesis is basically the fusion of male gamete and the female gamete, which is ovum and the sperm, and it does not happen in asexual reproduction. And in sexual reproduction, the like it
just
takes.
one moment, Aisha. Just one. Sorry to interrupt you in between.
Okay,
But
sorry.
Namira, can you hear me? Like, is this your first class or is it Nida with another login ID? Is this your first class, Namira? Okay, she's not Nida. I was thinking Namira is Nida all this time. Okay, Namira. Okay. So peduncle is basically, you know about the flower part. I have to go back to just 1 second. So the flower, where it is attached to the stem, that part is called receptacle. And above the receptacle is peduncle and thalamus. And beneath the thalamus layer is the ovary. So it should be the ovary technically that should ripen and form a fruit. But instead of that, if uh, if it is peduncle or thalamus or any other structure, then it's known as a false fruit. Is it okay, Namira? Namira, are you going to join this batch? Just write yes or no. If you cannot speak, it would be better if you can speak, because see, my classes are discussion oriented. You have to discuss with me. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to catch up. So this happens in a lag in communication. Okay, Namira, so I'm going to start. Okay, your mic is not working. If you can, please get it fixed, because I'm going to start from today chapter 3, and I just ended chapter 2 and we were doing some questions. So you can continue in this batch for chapter 3 onwards. And please tell me when is your biology exam and what is the syllabus, so that I can accommodate things accordingly for you, Namira. You can write the date of your biology exam and the chapter number. Sorry, people, we may have to wait because this is important. Okay, Aisha, in the meanwhile, please continue what you were saying about sexual reproduction. Yes. Aisha, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sexual reproduction. What were you saying?
Shall I continue or shall I say
Yes, continue.
from
Continue.
starting? Yeah, so basically, in asexual reproduction, they are the biological clones of their parents. They are same just like them. But in sexual reproduction, like they are not exactly same. And they brings and basically sexual reproduction it
And
in sexual reproduction it brings variations, like they are not similar to their parents, right?
in sexual reproduction, yes, they are not similar to their parents. So what happens? Variations come in, right?
Yeah, it brings variation.
Okay, perfect, good. And I have received the answer. Let me just note this down for Amira. Amira has chapter 2, 3, and 4 coming. So for chapter 2, Namira, I'll suggest you that you please ask for the recorded lecture of the previous few classes where we have done chapter 2. Okay. And you go through that and make the notes. You will also get the notes which I make, the handouts on the whiteboard. And if you have any doubt, we can take your doubt while we are doing chapter 3 and 4. Okay. And it's in July, so it's July 22, right? So we have a lot of time. I will finish it before like 20th June, chapter 3. So don't worry about it. Okay. We'll have a lot of time to finish chapter 4 as well. Is it clear to you, Namira? Okay, perfect. Thank you. I've noted it down. Now let's come to the human reproduction. And as Aisha was telling us all correctly, why is it not opening? Just give me one moment, people. It will take 1 or 2 more minutes. I'm sorry, the notebook is not opening up. Okay, finally it's opened. Okay, let's come back, everyone. Is the notebook visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so we will be starting with human reproduction, and I'll first take on the male reproductive system. But before going into the systems, let's just brush up some basics. So as Aisha also told, sexual reproduction happens in human, because of which there is variation. But let's come to, tell me, what kind of organisms are human? Do we give birth or we lay eggs?
Give birth.
So the concept of birth, an organism can take birth, like there are two types. Okay, one is egg laying. There is a question. Yes, Nora is writing viviparous. Yes, correct. So there is egg laying organisms which are known as oviparous. Okay. And there are organisms which give live birth to the young ones, and they are called viviparous. Clear? Now you can remember it like oviparous. It starts with O, and the shape of O looks like an egg, right? Yes or no? Please say something. Yes or no? So oviparous are egg laying because they lay eggs, and the O looks like an egg. Can you give me examples of oviparous people? These are all from junior classes. I'm just revising. So you have to speak. Nora, Aisha, Namira can't speak.
Yes.
Right. Examples of oviparous. Aisha.
Oviparous. Hen.
Egg laying. Yes, birds are egg laying. We can put all the birds together as birds, right? All birds are egg laying. And
Then fish.
fish. Yes. Many fish are egg laying.
Octopus.
And
Octopus.
any egg laying mammal you know of? Mostly
Mammal.
mammals give birth, right? So live birth
Yeah.
are mammals.
Platypus.
Yes, right. All the mammals give birth, but there is an exception. Write down, and this is exception, so this will be asked. Is duck-billed platypus. Platypus is a mammal which lays eggs. It is a oviparous mammal, the only oviparous mammal. And also it has a beak. That's why it's called duck-billed. It has a bill or a beak like a duck. So it looks like a duck, but it is a mammal. Okay. And how do we say that something is a mammal? It lays eggs, it has a beak, it does not have a mouth, but still we are calling it mammal. So what is the criteria of deciding that something is a mammal? Nora?
Hair.
No, the word mammal comes from mammary glands. All the mammals will have mammary glands. That's why they are called mammals. Hair also is not it's not present in all the mammals. For example, mammals which live, any underwater mammal you know of?
Whale.
Yes. Do whale have hair on its body?
No.
But does it have mammary glands? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so mammary gland, the word mammals comes from mammary gland. So all mammals without failure, without an exception, will have mammary glands. Okay. So humans are also mammals, so we give live birth, and apart from us, and for example, egg laying, you can also write reptiles. Reptiles lay eggs, right? Snakes, etc. Mammals give live birth. Anything else apart from mammals which give live birth? Write down some cartilaginous fishes. What are cartilaginous fish? There are two types of fish, bony and cartilaginous, right? So cartilaginous fish like shark. You know sharks? Sharks have some species which lay eggs, but some species of shark can also give live birth, vivipary. So is ovipary and vivipary clear to you? Yes or no? People say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's also discuss a concept which is gametogenesis. We discussed it in the last class as well in plants, but what do we mean by gametogenesis? What is
Fusion
gametogenesis?
of male and female
Sorry, again, come again.
fusion of male and female
It
gametes.
is fertilization, Aisha.
Fusion of male and female gamete.
Yes, formation, genesis. Genesis means formation. So this is the process of formation of male and female gametes. Okay. Formation of gametes I'm writing. In plants, we studied macrospores, which are the male gametes, which are also known as pollen, and megaspore, sorry, microspore and megaspore, which are known as the ovules or the egg sac. Now, in humans, gametes are of two types, right? One is called spermatozoa, right? Yes or no? And spermatozoa is the male gamete. This is the symbol for male. And the other one is ovum, or we also call it oocyte, or we also call it egg cell. All these are the names for female gametes in human. Okay. So we have come into human reproduction. So we will talk about human. Now this spermatozoa and ovum, spermatozoa is also known as microgamete. Can someone tell me why, taking help from plant chapter? This is called microgamete, and the female gamete is called megagamete or macrogamete. Can someone give me the reason why?
Because the spermatozoa is small.
Yes, it is very, very small as compared to. So if this is, let's say this is the ovum, and ovum has a layer, protective layer around itself. Let's say this is the human ovum. Then the sperm is going to be very, very small, like this. Okay, so this will be the sperm. Now you can see that clearly this is big and this is very small. So these kind of gametes, where one gamete is, just one moment, let me put this little down. Where one gamete is big and the other gamete is very small. So they are very different in their morphology, right? So they are called heterogametes. Hetero means, the word hetero means different. So these gametes are so different from each other. Then if you see, look at the gamete, you can just tell whether it's a male gamete or a female gamete. So these are called heterogametes. In some organisms, you cannot differentiate morphologically just by looking at the gamete. You cannot tell whether that gamete is a male gamete or a female gamete. So those gametes are called homogametes. Okay, homo means
Same.
yes. Now write down heterogametes and write down humans are heterogametic. Humans are heterogametic. And write down heterogametes are morphologically very different from each other. Heterogametes are morphologically very different from each other. Unlike homogametes. Unlike homogametes, which are non-distinguishable. Non-distinguishable. They cannot be differentiated, distinguished. Non-distinguishable from each other by looking at them. by looking at them. Is it clear? Now, in humans, after birth, are humans sexually mature right after the birth?
No.
No. So from birth to a period known as puberty, we are not sexually mature, right? We attain sexual maturity at puberty, right? So what is this period in between known as? From birth to puberty. What happens at puberty? At puberty, we reach sexual maturity.
Juvenile phase.
Sorry?
Juvenile phase.
Yes, it's known as juvenile phase. Now, every sexually reproducing organism has a juvenile phase and a sexual maturity phase where it reaches sexual maturity. Sexually reproducing organisms cannot start reproducing the moment they are born. Okay, so for humans, that is a very long time from birth to puberty. When does puberty reach in males? In case of males, when does puberty reach? When do human males reach puberty? At what age? No one? 13 to 15 years. Okay. And when do females reach puberty? Females. Human females. 11 to 13 years. Okay. Now it's clear that females in humans reach puberty earlier, at least a couple of years earlier than male, right? Yes or no? People. No one is interested?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, Nora is interested. So females reach puberty a couple of years earlier than the males in humans. Is it clear? Now, what happens at puberty? When we reach puberty, what happens at puberty?
Changes in hormones.
Yes, that is one thing. But for males, write down gametogenesis. Gametogenesis begins at puberty for males. So males start producing sperms when they reach puberty. And when does gametogenesis starts for females? Is it also at the puberty?
Embryonic stage.
Yes. So in females, write down. It's very important. In females, what is the gametogenesis of males known as? Spermatogenesis. Yes, perfect. Spermatogenesis. And what is the gametogenesis for females known as?
Oogenesis.
Oogenesis. So in females, oogenesis begins during the embryonic stage. During the embryonic stage, or also known as fetal stage. Okay. Fetus is a developing embryo. Now, this has been asked in NEET as a question. So make a star mark at this statement. You should know this. The question comes like this. Okay. So the question is for Aisha. Aisha, you're there?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes. So if they ask you the ovum from which you were born was synthesized inside the body of your mother, your maternal grandmother, your paternal grandmother, or your own body. Where was it formed? So it cannot be your own body because you know that. Sorry.
My mother.
No. What would be the right answer? The maternal grandmother. You understood, Nora? Why?
Yes, sir.
Because tell me why, Nora. Explain. Why? You said yes, sir.
It begins at embryonic stage.
So the ovum from which you were formed was in your mother's body, right? But when did it form? When your mother was an embryo in your maternal grandmother, in your nanny's body. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So eventually the ovum formed in your maternal grandmother's body when your mother was in your grandmother's body. So this way also this question can be asked. Okay. So what happens after? So in males it is very simple. The moment you reach puberty, the gametogenesis starts. So it's simple. Okay. But what happens in case of females? What happens in case of females? Write down the second line. The oogenesis gets arrested or gets paused or stopped, gets arrested at the prophase 1 stage. The prophase 1 stage of meiosis 1. Okay, we will come back to this statement when we will do the female system oogenesis, but just remember it. So at the time of birth, all these oocytes are arrested in the prophase 1. So from birth to puberty, they do nothing. So what happens at puberty? Puberty is also significant for females, no? It's not like that they have already done their oogenesis in the embryonic stage, so puberty is of no significance to females. Puberty also holds significance to females. What happens at puberty in females, Nora? Nora, tell me what happens to females during puberty?
Ovaries are released and secondary sexual characters.
Ovaries are not released. Ovary releases oocyte.
Yeah, ovaries. Yeah.
So to release that, you first have to complete the division, right? Because they are all arrested. So at the puberty, write down, development, or you can use the word maturation. At the puberty, maturation of oocytes begin, so that they can be released from the ovary. Okay, clear? And in both male and females at puberty, secondary sexual characters develop. Yes or no? Now let's first go through a timeline. What happens? So first we have gametes. We have a sperm and we have a ovum, let's say. Both of them fuse together at the event of fertilization, which gives rise to zygote. Now, sperm was a haploid cell or a diploid cell? Quickly. A haploid cell. Ovum?
Haploid.
Both the gametes. Gametes are always haploid. After fertilization, zygote. Zygote is haploid or diploid?
Diploid.
It is diploid. But it is still unicellular. Yes?
Yes.
It is a single cell. Sperm and ovum both are also unicellular. But what happens after zygote?
Embryo.
And what is the ploidy of embryo? Again 2n. But is it unicellular or multicellular?
Multicellular.
Yes. And what happens after embryo? We call it fetus. Okay. And fetus actually is a developed embryo, so it starts showing different structures, legs, hands, etc. And after fetus, when it is ready to get delivered and birth takes place, and after birth, the newborn baby is known as neonatal baby. Newly born baby is called neonatal. And then that neonatal baby develops into an infant. Infant is a newborn baby, few months or 1 year old. And then that infant develops into a child. Is it clear? All the terms are clear to you? So this
Yes,
is
sir.
after birth. And everything till here is before birth. Is it clear? This is the line. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let's first start with male reproductive system. Okay. And we will then go to the female system. So let me orient this. This is the diagrams taken from NCERT, which I will explain in this class. Yeah. Okay. So write down male reproductive system. Now this system is the differentiating system between males and females. Apart from this, all other systems that you have studied in human physiology in class 11th, like cardiac system, circulatory system, or the excretory system, or the digestive system, respiratory system, all these systems are common, correct? Nervous system, hormonal system, yes or no? They're all common. Reproductive system is the different system. And why do we study reproduction in organisms? Because it's very important to appreciate and understand the difference between male and female gender, male or female sex, so that we can appreciate the opposite gender and the biology better. Okay. Knowledge always opens the door to maturity. It makes you more sensible, and with that complete information that you have, you can make better decisions in life. Just like any other system of our body, just like we need oxygen to respire, just like we need food, we feel hungry, we feel breathless when there is no oxygen, we also feel the changes happening in terms of hormones in the reproductive system. Females, when they reach puberty, they start going through a cycle known as menstrual cycle. Yes, correct? And if they are not educated about that cycle properly, menstrual cycle is the cycle which can, cause any female to panic, because all of a sudden when you reach a certain age, one day the reproductive system starts bleeding, and it's very obvious to think that something is wrong, like something is happening to the female. But things like hormonal changes, menstrual cycle in females, and the same hormonal changes and the reproductive development in males is very important to understand. Now let me just give you this quick analogy. I always give this before I start this chapter, so that you take this chapter seriously and as a part of your important biology education. Imagine all of you are with me. Nora, Aisha, just say yes once.
Yes.
Okay. Imagine a situation, okay? So there is a road, there is a LA, and thousands, hundreds and thousands of people cross that road every day to reach their working place or wherever they want to go. And there is a house at that road at the corner, and that house has a big door, and that door normally just remains open, like it's not bolted, so it's slightly open. You can see that it's open. If you want to, you can enter, but no one enters that door because you are just busy, reaching your office or going somewhere. You don't have time to just see and check and go inside the door. It does not look like a very fancy door where something could be inside. It's an abandoned house, let's say. So no one gets in. But tell me what will happen if the door remains open and I put a signboard, a notice with big fonts saying, please do not enter, but the door is open. Now what will happen? What will happen? Nora, Aisha, Namira. Namira, you can write.
People will try to enter.
People will try to enter. Why? Just simply out of curiosity, right? It is a human behavior to think that why something is prohibited. What is the reason? There must be something inside. That's why they are asking us not to open, but still the gate is open. So let me just check what is inside. That's curiosity, right? We cannot help it. We are humans. We are curious by nature. And if you see stories from our history, from mythologies, it's always said that humans are very curious. So and you also must have heard that half knowledge is actually dangerous than no knowledge at all. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if you have some little bit of knowledge about something and you are curious, you will try to find it. And the world now is a very small place. Everything sits in the palm of your hand on this mobile phone, which is the whole world you can access with your phones. So it's better to teach you things that you may be curious about. And let's do a quick psychological thing. All of you, Nora, Aisha, and Namira, close your eyes. Closed? Yes, closed. Eyes are closed. You can speak. Say yes or no. It's an exercise. Quick. Nora, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Eyes closed. Now think of a river. What are you thinking of right now? If I say imagine a river, think of a river, what are you thinking? What are you imagining? If people are not speaking, it becomes boring this way. It's an interesting game. And it just takes 2 minutes. Tell me, what are you thinking of right now? Aisha? Am I audible to you, people? Because no one is audible to me. See, you can see me, right? I can't even see you, any of you. So I just rely on your voice to make this class interesting. Again, let's do it again. Nora, Aisha, are you with me?
I cannot see the mic when the eyes are closed.
Okay. Okay, don't close your eyes. That's a very genuine proposition. But I say, think of a river. So what are you imagining in your mind? What can you see? If I tell you to think of a river and you close your eyes, what are you seeing actually?
River flowing.
Exactly, a river, right? Now let's do it the other way. Do not think of an elephant. What are you thinking of right now?
Elephant.
Exactly. So it never works. If I tell you that do not think or do not be curious about XYZ, you will be curious about the same thing, right? And if we keep this knowledge hidden from you, you are not going to be protected from that knowledge. You will try to figure it out, and if you will not, you will still stay curious about it. So psychology works one way. The moment something you hear, you see, or you witness, or you experience, you think about it, you get curious. That is where knowledge comes in. Knowledge is the tool that helps you satisfy your curiosity in a proper way, where your conscious is trained to now use that knowledge for good. Okay, so you will not go to sources from where you are not allowed to take knowledge, but you get your knowledge from in a proper way from the books, because it's all about human physiology and about the sexes, the gender, and the reproductive system. Do you understand why it is important to study gender education or sex education? Nora, Asha, and Namira, sorry. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, please be a little responsive. Okay, it makes things easier for me. So let's come to the male reproductive system. Yes, thank you so much, Namira. I appreciate your answering in the chat at least. Okay, male reproductive system. Now, males, before we go into male reproductive system, let me tell you, there is a very cool fact about biology. You know, why I am interested in biology and how I see biology as a subject is, it is all about us. It is all about life, living systems. And if you understand biology, then you will be very much a better human, because you know the inherent reasons behind things on the basis of which mostly we discriminate in the society. There are many kind of discriminations in the society that emerge from lack of knowledge. For example, you all must have known that people, especially white skinned people, fair skinned people, always look down most of the time. Like, it is a prevalent discrimination in the society that we look down on black colored skin people, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Why? Because we think they are inferior. They are not as good looking as us, because we have made some human centric viewpoints of what is beautiful. For example, fair skin is beautiful over a dark skin. A lean body is beautiful over a chubby body, or a very thin body. You know? Tall, good height is beautiful over short height. But that is all because we are not informed properly. We do not have enough knowledge. Do you know why someone has a dark skin? Why one human has dark skin and other does not? On what factor does it depend? You know that, Nora? There is something called melanin. It is just a side knowledge. Melanin is a pigment which is produced in our skin, the layer of the skin, the living layer of the skin. And this pigment shields the cell from UV radiations of the sun. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Now, what does UV radiation cause? UV radiations, if we are exposed to UV radiation in large quantities, it can cause skin cancer. So a dark skinned person, most of the time, you will find that dark skinned people are always around the countries which are near equator, like Africa and all the, from equator to the tropical countries in between, they are always colored skin, dark skinned, because they have more melanin producing in their skin. As you go up towards the poles, both north and south, if you go towards, like up towards Europe, Canada, you will see fair skinned people, because they do not get that much of sunlight. So they do not produce this melanin in large quantity. So they stay fair skinned. But which one, a dark skinned person or a fair skinned person, which one is more biologically protected from skin cancers and UV radiations?
Dark skinned person.
Which is a stronger phenotype? Which is more robust phenotype? Dark skinned or fair skinned?
Dark skinned.
Yes. So we should not treat them as inferiors, right? At all. There is another example for inherent thing, biasness, is that male domination, right? Males think that they are better off as a gender or as a sex than females, right? Female discrimination is one thing which is real in our society. But this is where female reproductive system and male reproductive system comes in. And I'm going to tell you this interesting fact, because in this class, I have females. There's no male as of now. Do you know which is considered as a default true gender in biology? It's the female gender. So female sex is the default state in biology. What do I mean by this is, if we do not tell or give proper signals to an embryo to develop into a male, if we do not give any signals at all, so the default state, every embryo will just become, human embryo will just become females. Interesting, no? Yes or no?
Yes.
The male gender requires a signal to become male, and that's why the male sex is known as a non-default state. You know what is a default state? I hope you know what is default state.
Yes.
What is default state, Nora?
Original.
Something which comes pre-planned, right? Like default settings of your mobile phones. When you buy a new phone, every setting is default from the factory, right? Then you change or tweak those settings to make it your own. That's called customized. So male sex is a customized sex. So true sex is the female sex. There are some species that do not rely on male sex. They only have females in their species. There is no male in that species. Now that proves that female gender is capable of producing life, propagating life, and it's also capable of sustaining itself. Okay. Male gender should not think that they are in any ways superior over the female gender or the female sex. Okay, I'll tell you more about it. How does the default state produced and how are these male organs produced as we'll progress in the chapter. So let's first come to male, which is the customized or non-default state, as I'll say it, and let's try to figure out their external morphology first. So in the males, there are two types of organs. One is called the primary sex organ, primary sexual organ. Both in males and females, the primary sexual organs are which causes gametogenesis. So what produces gametes in males? Testis. Okay. So testes, which is one pair, is the primary sexual organ. Is it clear? This structure here, you see testes. This is the primary sexual organ. And then the others are called secondary or accessory sexual organs, which are not important for the formation of gametes or for the regulation of the system, but they help in the process of reproduction. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Nora? Yes. Now write down. So let me first explain you, then I'll make you write down everything in the next class. So this is testis, where inside the testis, gametogenesis happen. Okay, so inside here is the site of gametogenesis. And testis is present in a muscular bag-like structure called scrotum. It is a sac, like it's also called testicular sac or a muscular bag, and it is present outside the abdominal cavity. It's not present inside the body like other organs, like our kidneys, liver, pancreas, and all those are present inside. But testis was not always present in the scrotum. When a male human or a male embryo is developing, during embryogenesis, testis is produced, is formed inside the abdomen, around kidneys, somewhere near the kidneys. So they are very up in the lower abdomen. Then just before the birth, the testes come down into the scrotum. Is it clear? That process is called descent of the testes. So write down this one point. The primary sexual organs or testes are formed during embryogenesis, in the abdominal cavity, in the abdominal cavity. And descend down into the scrotum at the time of birth. Slightly before the birth or at the time of birth, these testes descend down into the scrotum. Is it clear, Nora and Asha and Namira?
Yes.
Now this descending down is very important. Why testes has to be in the scrotum and why can't it be in the abdomen? Why testes has to be in the scrotum? You know the
For low temperature.
sorry?
For low temperature.
Yes, it's present in scrotum. Write down. It's present in scrotum because testes require lower temperature than the body temperature. Lower temperature than the body temperature for spermatogenesis to happen efficiently. For spermatogenesis to happen efficiently. Now, what is the body temperature? Quickly. Human body temperature. What is it exactly? What is human body temperature? Quick. These are just very simple things.
37
Yes.
degrees Celsius.
Yes, it's 37 degrees Celsius, or to be very exact, it's 36.9, which we call as 37 only. So write down. If it's 37 degrees Celsius, what should be the temperature of testes? It should always be 1 to 3 degrees less. Okay, 1 to 3 degrees less. So it should be 34 to 36, right? 34 to 36 degrees is the optimum temperature for spermatogenesis. Is it clear? Written?
Yes.
Yeah. And I told you that the testes descend down into the scrotum at the time of birth. But there is a disorder in which they fail to descend down. If they fail to descend down, then that disorder, that condition is known as Cryptorchidism. 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 And define what is cryptorchidism. Write down. It is the condition where testes fails to descend down. Testes fails to descend down into the scrotum. Testes fail to descend down into the scrotum. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if testes do not descend down properly, then it will have effect on gametogenesis. Gametogenesis will not happen properly, and the male will have, even if the male reaches puberty, it will have certain complications and issues with the reproductive stage of the life, right? Now, one more thing, write down this about cryptorchidism. It has been asked once. Make a star mark, write neat. in front of it. It has been asked in the NEET. What is cryptorchidism? And second thing, I am saying that testes are descending down. So they must be coming through something, right? There should be a passage. There should be a space from which they are coming in into the scrotum, right? So that passage is known as inguinal canal. I'm writing it here, right down. Testes descend down through inguinal canal into the scrotum. Is it clear? So remember this name, inguinal canal. Okay. Is everything clear about testes?
Yes, sir.
And this scrotum is not just loose tissue which is just out of the abdominal cavity. It is actually very well connected with the body wall, and it is connected through a series of muscles. So there are muscles which are known as, I'm marking this muscle here, they are called cremaster muscles. Write down, this is the last thing for today. Cremaster muscles. Cremaster muscles connect the scrotum with the body. Right down. They connect the scrotum with the body. Cremaster muscles. Is it clear, everyone? Everything is clear? Any doubts?
Yes.
So let's finish here today in the male system. And in the next class, we will take on the male system, its functions and spermatogenesis. Okay. And we'll also do some more neat questions based on this topic when we will finish some major portion of it. So I'll see you in the next class, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay blessed.